let us continue with the topic. We have discussed about authoritative leadership and coercive leadership. Now, let us continue with the next leadership concept called affiliative leadership. Now, what is the crux point in this affiliative leadership? This is nothing but creating harmony and building emotions, right? So I'll write down the point here. Creating harmony and building emotions. Creating harmony and building emotions. Now, what is the attitude factor in this affiliative leadership? Now see here, each and every point is very important for your examination, right? I'm giving in a simplified banner. Focus on these videos, right? Affiliative leadership, the attitude will be people comes first. The attitude will be people comes first and the remaining thing next, right? The first place will be occupied by people's behavior, people's emotions. Now, what will be the emotional intelligence component, EI component, right? Now this will be empathy. So empathy means feeling their emotions. Already we have discussed this. Now building relationships, it will be building relationships, and it is nothing but having clear cut communication with the citizens or with the society. Now what will be the sustainability factor in this authoritative leadership, affiliative leadership, sorry. Now this is nothing but to motivate people in stress. This is nothing but motivating people who are in stress. Right. And what will be the impact? Now this will be positive. It's not mostly positive. It will be positive. Right. Now the next one what we will look about is democratic leadership. Now I'll write leadership as L, right? Now what will be the key crux point in this democratic leadership? Now see here, it will forge your consensus through participation, right? Forge means it will dissect your mind, it will come into your mind through participative techniques, right? This is nothing but happens through participation. One crux point, your consensus, your behavior, your attitude will be changed through participation, right? Now your attitude, now already see this participation happens through forging your consensus. Now you will get this point clearly. What is forging of consensus? Now this defines your attitude. Now attitude is nothing but what do you think, right? Forging consensus means what people's mindset, what do you think, right? This is the attitude of democratic leadership. They play according to the people mindsets. Now your emotional intelligence factor will be what? Collaboration. And this collaboration is nothing but your team leadership. Team leadership, right? Likewise your UPA and NDA, right? Now what is the sustainability factor of this? Now this democratic leadership arises whenever there is difference of opinion. Whenever there is difference of opinion, right? And the impact will be positive. The democratic leadership impact will be positive. And the next type of leadership is pace setting. Pace setting leadership, right? Now what is the crux point under this pace setting leadership? Now this is pace setting. The term itself is self-explanatory. Setting high standards. Right. Setting high standards is nothing but pace setting. Or now this setting high standards will be related to the performance of the individual in a government. Am I right or wrong? Right. Now the setting of standards will be regarding performance. Done. Now what will be the attitude in this pace setting? Do as I do. Right. Do as I do. This will be the type of attitude. What will be the emotional intelligence factor in this pace setting? Right. Now they feel that they are born to achieve. Born to achieve or initiate, both comes under the things. Right. What will be the sustainability factor in this? To achieve quick results. To achieve quick results, they follow this pace setting leadership. Now the impact will be what? Is it positive or negative? Completely negative, right? Now if a people mindset is in one way and your pace setting strategies is in another way, so what can be the impact? The impact will be automatically negative, right? Done. Do as I do attitude will give you negative impacts. Right. The next one what we will deal is coaching. Now, what is this coaching and what you look upon this coaching? Now the crux point in this coaching is nothing but develop for future. I think you can got it very easily. Develop. So see here everything I have written in single words, right? It is nothing but this leadership is nothing but develop for future. Now what will be the attitude of this? Try this is nothing but the attitude of this. I think this is very clear. Now emotional intelligence factor will be, or your ethical factor will be developing others, right? Developing others. It's not yourself. Then you call this as empathy. Am I right or wrong? Yes, empathy. Now, what will be the sustainability factor? It is that now this sustainability factor will be helpful when the employees are morally low. When employers are morally low. Sorry, when employers are morally low or morale is low, right? Morale means their thinking is low. Now the impact will automatically be positive, right? Now see here, these are the different types of leadership that we look upon, right? Now the next very important concept what we will deal is, right, judgments. Now this is nothing but called ethical theories, right? The next concept what we will deal, so you have to be very focused on this ethical theories. Now in this ethical theories, the first concept what we will learn is judgment. Now how we judgment is nothing but decision, how you take a decision and upon what factors do you consider this decision. The one factor is what is good or what is bad. The second one is what is right and what is wrong. Now how can you decide what is good and what is bad, and how can you decide what is right and what is wrong? Now these decisions are based on, now see here, these decisions or based on what? Can you say me? Judgments, right? Your judgment will decide whether you are taking the correct decision or wrong decision, whether your decision is good or bad, right? Right? So deciding upon the things is nothing but your judgment. Now, how many types of judgments are there? The first one is factual, and the second type of judgment is aesthetic, and the third type of judgment is moral. Right? Now, let us first discuss about this factual judgments. Now, what is this factual judgment and upon what dependence this will be there? Now, this factual judgment will be dependent on facts. Right? Now, there will be only two outcomes. What are the two outcomes? Can you say me? Either true or false. Right? So, see here, this factual judgments might be morally right or wrong. Right? They are morally right or wrong. So, factual judgments are commonly called as morally empty judgments. Morally empty judgments. Right? Now, see here, it is dependent on facts, it seems. Now, these facts can be true or not, right? If it is true, automatically outcome will be true and you are morally right. If the fact is wrong, then automatically your outcome is false and you are morally wrong. So there can be two things happening in this factual judgments. Now see here, I will give an example regarding this. Now moon revolves around the earth. Am I right? Now this is true or false? Right? Can you scrutinize it? Now this could be true or false. Am I right or wrong? But nothing to scrutinize whether true or false. Am I right or wrong? Yes. Yes. Now this is moon revolves round the earth is true. But scrutinization, what comes here? This is nothing but your fact. Done. Focus on this. Next one. What we will discuss is aesthetic judgment. Aesthetic judgment. Now, see here, this aesthetic judgment, now factual judgment are based on facts. Now, aesthetic judgment will be based on taste, color, sensuality, beauty, right? Beauty, color, sensuality, etc. Now, let us see with an example that you can understand it very easily. For example, a person may like green and some persons like blue. Now, see here, you cannot judge their ethical nature based on their taste or liking. Now, see here, upon this only green and blue, can you judge the persons? Can judge the persons? No, you cannot judge the persons. Am I right or wrong? Now, this is nothing but your aesthetic judgment. Right? It depends on taste, it depends on beauty, it depends on color, but doesn't mean the complete decision, the complete attitude of a person can be done by this only this thing. Right? Now you cannot decide the ethical nature. Ethical nature. This is what you have to learn. Based on their taste or liking. This is what aesthetic judgment says. Right. Now, the next one what we will deal is moral judgment. Now, what is this moral judgment? Now, see here, this will decide something, either it is right or wrong. Now, see here, your ethical behavior will be based upon this moral judgment, right? Your ethical behavior will be decided. Your ethical behavior is decided based on this moral judgment. Right now, traditional thinkers considered this moral judgment as one of the best judgment. Now see here, one example what I will give you is Salman Khan in this deer killing case. Now see here what the fans think, that fans suppose that this as a simple allegation against him. Now let us come from animal lovers. Now animal lovers feel this he should be punished by offense based on a right or wrong on his actions, not instead of his fan base. Now see here, this depends upon the looking upon the persons, right? Now we are looking from the fan mindset and we are looking about the animal lover mindset. Now according to them this is right and according to them this is wrong. This is simple allegation, right? Now see here one more important question. This was asked in the Service Commission examination. Now who filed a case against this Salman Khan in this deer killing case? Right? Krishna deer case, right? Now the tribes are Bishnoi tribes. Bishnoi tribes in Rajasthan. Bishnoi tribes in Rajasthan. They filed a case against this case. Now see here, your moral judgment will be false when you see through fan's mind, and your judgment will be right when you see through animal lovers things. Right? Now, this is what your moral judgment is. Now let us go to the next concept called ethical scrutiny. Right? Now, before this ethical scrutiny, there is one theory of justice that you have to learn very importantly, which is called Rawls theory of justice. Rawls theory of justice. Now your judgments related concept, right? Now this is a very important theory, so we will discuss this. Now, what is this justice first? Now, justice is founded on recognition of truth of integrity of creation and existence. Right? Am I right or wrong? Yes. This is founded on recognition of truth. Recognition of truth and integrity. Right? And it depends upon the individual and or an organization. Now see here what this Rawls theory of justice says. Now this theory of justice revolves around the adaptation of fundamental principles of justice which would guarantee a neat, morally acceptable society. Right? Now see here, this theory of justice revolves around the adaptation of fundamental principles of justice. Now, this would guarantee a morally acceptable society, it seems. Upon this adaptation, you can guarantee a morally acceptable society. This is what we are termed to know. Now, what are these principles? What are these fundamental principles of justice? Right now, the first principle says that, let us discuss about these fundamental principles. Right now, the first principle guarantees that the right of each person to have the most extensive basic liberty compatible with the liberty of others. Now, the first principle says that it must guarantee the right of each person. I'm writing on the first principle, right? Right of each person to have extensive most basic liberty, right? And this liberty must be compatible with the liberty of other persons also. Am I right or wrong? This must not be completely against the other people. So if the liberties of each and every person are gelled very well, automatically they can live in a society which is acceptable. Am I right or wrong? Right now, the next principle, the second principle says that, the second fundamental principle says that the economic position should be to everyone's advantage and open to all. Right now, the economic position should be of everyone's advantage and it must be open to all. Now, this is the second fundamental principles of justice. Right now, these are the two principles of two fundamental principles of justice to make a society utmostly happy or utmostly acceptable society. Now, this Rawls introduced a theoretical wheel of ignorance in which all players in the social game would be placed in a situation called original position. Right? And what is this original position? Now, see here, this original position is nothing but having only a general knowledge about the facts of life and society. And each player has to think rationally wise according to the society, towards the society. And see here, and he would enter into a contract with denying the players any specific information about themselves. It forces them to adopt a other point of view. Right now, see here, these points will help you to reach a moral conclusion, and this leads to a prudent acceptable society. Right now, see here, I'll explain in 2 points. Now, Rawls introduced a concept called theoretical wheel of ignorance. Right now, what is this theoretical wheel of ignorance says? Now, in a society, you have to treat all the players or all the people would be in a same situation, and this situation is called original position. That means you have to treat everyone has to be same, having same knowledge, having same integrity, right, having same gender knowledge, and these persons have to think rationally, right, towards the society. Now these type of people will be helpful to form a acceptable society, it seems, right? Now, will this Rawls theory of justice is working out everywhere? Now focus on that, right? Done. Now this is called Rawls theory of justice. Now only 2 points are enough. Only once it was asked. Now, can you explain with an example here? This is nothing but, see here, in a society, I'll give one example. There will be different kinds of persons. Am I right or wrong? One, you can say it as poor. One, you can say it as elite and middle class. Different types. Women, physically handicapped. Now, all these persons must be treated as they have same position in the society, right? All these persons must be in an original position. Distribution of resources and law making must be same, right? Distribution of resources and law must be equal. Now this is what Rawls is saying, right? All people. This is the concept exactly, right? Done. Now this is about the judgments and Rawls theory of justice. Now let us move to the next concept called ethical scrutiny. Now what is this ethical scrutiny and what will you look upon this? Now let us see the next concept called ethical scrutiny. Now what is this ethical scrutiny? It is nothing but you have to review your policies, judgments, values, decisions, your persuasive strategies and all the things, right? Now to carry out this ethical scrutiny on any action, you need to consider the three issues. What are those three issues? The first one is, in order to carry out this ethical scrutiny, you have to consider this issue, right? Free will. The next one, what you have to consider is knowledge. The next what you have to consider is voluntary action. Now, what is this free will? The term, it is self-explanatory, right? Now, if a person has multiple choices and he has a freedom to pick one within those choices, right? And now this is called your free will. And then only you can debate it on ethical ground, right? Upon what he chose, right? Now see here, upon a pool of choices, he will pick one. And you can debate on this one choice. Now this is his free will, right? You cannot choose him, you cannot debate him on his choices, on different choices. You can debate on the choice chosen by him. Now this is called your free will. Now see here, this is a little bit tricky, right? We will see with an example that you can get very easy approach, right? Now example. Now let us consider there is an accident happened near Kanpur railway station. Now the railway employees are repairing the track field, and right now these railway employees who are repairing the track fled the accident spots to escape the people anger, right? In this case they have two choices. Am I right or wrong? Now see here, there is an accident happened in Kanpur railway station, right? In the accident spot, these railway workers are working. To avoid this people anger, they ran away from there. Now what will be your ethical scrutiny on this? You think that they have to help the victims, in the mean hour, in the golden hour, what you speak it as. Or next one, or escape from the scene to avoid people's anger. Now these are the two decisions what they think. These are of two views. Am I right or wrong? See here, you think that what are the, see here, free will. Now what are the two choices that these employees have? One is to help and one is to escape. Now they chose help. Now you can debate on this help. If they choose escape, now you can debate on this escape. But you cannot debate on their choices. This is what your free will saying. Right? Now please be focused on this, right? Now got the point? Again I'll explain this. If a person has multiple choices and has a freedom to pick one, right? Choose a thing, has a freedom to pick one. Now this is the crux point there. Within those choices, only then we can debate on it on ethical ground. Now this is called your free will. Done. Now let us continue the next issues in the next video. Thank you.